So hello guys, welcome to another video, and today we're going to talk about some tips and some basics and fundamentals that you should learn and practice to get better in Apex Legends. So for my first tip guys is weapon choice. Weapon choice is extremely valuable here because you have to choose the weapons that you're most comfortable with. If you're a beginner and you're just starting, I would not suggest the wingman or any shotgun because those are all flick reliant guns, and what you would want to start with off is tracking, because tracking is way easier compared to flicking. Now some of the famous gun choices that I would recommend are the R301, the Flatline, and the Vault, because these are all automatic weapons that are easy to use. They don't have that much recoil, and they're pretty reliant during fights. Tip guys is recoil control. Every gun has a recoil control that you should probably study or learn. For example here, the flatline. Okay, flatline, I'm gonna go from afar. I'm just freely left click it, and I'm not even gonna bother controlling the recoil. It's like a S pattern, or like an inverted S. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do an S pattern on my mouse. With my mouse rather. See how much better the shots were landing compared to just left clicking it? Okay. You're bound to hit more shots during the recoil control. Basically my only tip here is that most guns do work with just simply pulling down, by the way. So for example, the ball up, and all I'm doing is pulling down. My next tip, it's aim practice, and this comes with recoil. There are external apps, aim trainers out there that you can probably use. I use Aim Lab. I use it as my position for FPS games. So I came from a MOBA game like League of Legends, and I got good in FPS games because Aim Lab was there to give me the right muscle memory for aiming. If you don't want to use Aim Lab, you can still use obviously the game, the firing range. Now I would suggest for you to like make your own routines every single day, do warm-ups before you play games, and there's really no way there's no magical way to get better in aiming except by practicing, learning the recoil controls, just consciously putting on the effort on practice. Next part of the video, movement is essential in this game. There's a lot of movement, there's tons of running, there's a lot of people sliding, and can really make you hard to hit if you have good movement. For my first tip though, what I would like you to do is to make this a habit of sliding before healing. Okay, what you want to do is before you heal, you want to slide, and then as you're sliding, you will press your heal hotkey or whatever mouse button you binded it to. Tap, slide,
recharging
heal.
my shields.
It's much faster that way compared to healing like this without any movement before it. Because if those precious seconds can mean life or death,
Recharging
like
my
this,
shields.
you getting into cover and getting that heal off much more efficiently compared to doing a heal like this, wherein you are susceptible to getting hit because you are much slower. You slow down when you heal, right? So you learn how to make this into a habit. Sliding before healing. For my next tip, you would want to be around cover a lot. This game, you want to have uneven trades for your enemies. So you want to output as much damage as possible without getting damage, if that makes sense to you guys. So this tip here, playing around cover or jiggle peeking, which is very prominent among very good players and players who use shotguns. or burst guns. For example, there's an enemy right there, okay? And what you want to do is you just want to peek out for a second, like this, and shoot, come back to cover, peek out again, come back to cover, peek out again, come back to cover, and repeat the process. You're dealing huge amounts of damage, but they're not going to be able to hit you in that split second of you peeking, hitting the shotgun shot, crucial shotgun shot. So that's what you should probably keep in your mind always, is that you want to deal, output as much damage as possible without getting hit. Rated. Now for my next tip, moving on, this is probably one of the most essential things you should be doing in Apex Legends, and it's probably one of the most bread and butter of the game. And that's crouch spamming. Crouch spamming, I usually bind my crouch to control, which is default. Spam it, because you are much harder to hit in game. Then if you add strafing on it, the left-right strafing, this is how it's gonna look like. You're so much harder to hit, and this is what you're going to see among a lot of wingman players. Crouch spamming while hitting. So that's one of the most essential things you should learn and turn into a habit as well. And it makes you harder to hit. You can hip fire. You can get up close to people, and you can hip fire. And it wouldn't be that much harder to aim, while you're being harder to hit. So yeah, same principle still applies of trading. So outputting the most damage without getting hit back or damage back. Now for the last segment of the video, I would like to lay out 3 more concepts for you guys to remember, which are awareness, game sense, and decision making. Awareness is being aware of how many enemies are around you, if your teammates are around you, and awareness will help you in decision making. So whether you should push this team or not, if there are 2 squads in the building or not, or if you're gonna get third party, maybe you should back off a bit and you should be the one doing the third party. And game sense, coupled with decision making, are also close hand in hand. They will come along with time. It takes time to get better in this game. It took me about 1,000 hours before I could safely say that I improved significantly compared to when I started back in Season 0. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed and learned a lot from this video. Hope you guys also improve on your craft and playing Apex Legends. So feel free to follow my Facebook gaming page, because that's where I primarily stream, and we can chat, you can have fun, and you can hang out with me there.
If you want a second to breathe, I'll give you all of my love, I'll give you all that you need.